Hi there! In this video I will be continuing my discussion on turret schematics for the game Mindustry. This video will build off principles that I discussed in my previous video, so if you haven't seen that video yet, please check it out before continuing with this video. So previously I discussed how to supply size 1 turrets with ammo in a compact design. You can see those designs here. But in this video, I will look into larger turrets and discuss advanced supply needs. So if you recall from the previous video, I talked about using bridges as a way to feed material and store material for these turrets, the duos. In this case, I have 3 lines of turrets, with the most compact being in the center row. I also discussed this design where I called it the zipper pattern, where you have junction routers, and this allowed you to store a lot more material next to your duos. However, this one on the right is not what we will be going with. I have a more compact version that I should have shown in my previous video, but for some reason I was being crazy that day. And here is what I meant to show you in that video. You can see that the duos are right up next to the zipper pattern, whereas above I actually had additional unnecessary routers. When we apply that zipper pattern to the use of salvo 2x2 turrets, this allows us to feed 2 feeds in of material like before, but now each turret can be fed by 2 feeds at a time. Now the benefit of feeding a turret with 2 feeds is that the turret will resupply twice as fast, and if one turret's firing before the others, that one will be refilled almost immediately, and it gives us a little bit of a burst of refilling. Another benefit of this design is that we can copy or a column and paste it right next to it, and by doing so, we're able to extend our initial battle line very easily and get a little bit more firepower out of our design. Now, I wouldn't go too much farther than this because we still have the same problem with the routers pushing back on the design. You can see how it's slowly staggering to fill all of this. So most I usually do is 4 of these turrets in a row, but you can do 5 okay. So what does this look like in practice? Well, we can put different types of turrets in line. We can put some anti-air, some scatterers, some swarmers, and they all work in this design because they're 2x2 blocks. Now you can use the bridges, and I will often use the bridges, but for initial design this can be a little bit harder because you can't just copy and paste this because there's a router on the end here and the bridges will sometimes jam themselves up. So for an initial schematic that I place when I'm playing a level, I will opt for the zipper pattern for easy copy and paste, and then use this larger schematic that you'll see a little bit later on. You'll also see that the zipper pattern works well with 3x3 and 4x4 turret. In this case, you're just getting more routers and junctions. You just keep extending it out. You could probably get 3 of these in a row and be just fine. You can also do the same thing with bridges. Now, these designs work really well for initially defending your sector in single player and potentially in multiplayer as well. However, you want to expand the design here and add a little bit more advanced features. We'll talk about that next. So in addition to ammo, turrets can also accept liquid. Now what's the benefit of liquid? Well, if we look at, for example, the salvo, we have the basic damage that these different types of ammo will do, but if we scroll down we can see the ammo capacity. Below the ammo capacity we can see the optional enhancements. In this case, if we add water, we can get 140% fire rate. If we add cryofluid, we can get even faster, 190. Now that means that we have to be able to resupply our ammo quickly, and we'll have bursts of potentially lots of firepower if we don't resupply quickly. And that's why I think having 2 feeds is beneficial. In this case, you can see here I am supplying ammo using liquid routers, and we have a bridge that goes up and over the conveyor belts for the ammo. We have a container, and then that container is being fed by bridge. Again, we have our 2 feeds, and under here we have 2 unloaders to unload the ammo from the container. So why did I go with this design? If you look at this, it's very heavy-sided on one side. Well, that's because it allows you to copy and paste it. If I just grab everything like I did right there and just rotate it around and mirror it, I can plop it right there. And now I have twice as many turrets. And what that allows me to do is I can start the level with 1 defense and then quickly expand it out by just mirroring it to the other side. As I feed the liquid in, I chose the use of routers instead of pipes because this allows me to feed in anywhere. So in this example, I don't have to just drop it into the large containers. I can feed it up here on the right hand side, and because this counts as 1 large container, this will feed all of these routers. You can add more here if you would like, and the benefit is that you don't have to sit and aim perfectly for this little 1 square to get everything to go where it needs to go. You can literally feed in from any direction. You can even feed in from the front. You just change the direction of these bridges, and now all of a sudden it will feed all of the turrets from any point in this design. Now you may have noticed that in my designs I do not include walls. Well, why is that? Walls take forever to build. And so I do not include them in my schematics, I add them later. Well, turrets by themselves have a lot of firepower and can do a lot of damage, and can take a little bit of a punishment before you need to repair them or replace them. In which case, it's okay to place the turrets down without putting the walls, and then add the walls later depending on what kind of enemies are attacking. You can see here I've added the walls here, and I've also added some additional pieces that help support and supplement the design. We've got a mend protector, which repairs the turrets and the walls, and we've got an overdrive projector that all we have to do is feed in power to those, and we have a way to speed up our turrets and our bridges, and so that it speeds up effectively the way we deliver our ammo, and it speeds up everything really, including the water delivery. So all you need now is you just feed in your ammo in the bottom, you feed in your water from one of these squares anywhere, and your turrets are ready to fire. Now moving on to the 3x3 design. In this case I've got cyclones. It looks very similar. You feed the ammo up into your container, you have your menders up above. You'll go ahead and add your walls up depending on which side is facing the enemy, and you're good to go. Same design principles. They expand really well. You can even copy and paste this, rotate it, and you're good to go just like before. Here's another design. And you'll see in this case I added some routers in the liquid routers in the front, and that allows us to pass liquid and share. So if one side gets damaged, we have twice the feeding capacity and redundancy. We also have some liquid routers down here below, so that again you can feed in any direction, and it will cross over when you copy and paste it. So for example, like this. In this case, I've copied the left-hand side, put it on the right-hand side, and we have water flowing underneath these bridges to both sides, so I can feed the water in from any direction. One variation that you'll see here is that I've got cyclones and ripples. In this case, they both fire blast compound, and so you can feed the same ammo as long as the guns take the same ammo, and you can get additional benefits. So cyclone's really good at anti-air, and the ripple is really good at pounding long-range ground attack. Now moving on to the 4x4 turrets. In this case, you see I have pretty much the exact same design. I have a larger liquid container underneath the bridges here, and I am feeding in cryofluid instead of water. More beneficial for these larger guns since they have a lot more firepower and can do a lot more damage. Now the specters are very expensive and take forever to place. So whenever I have a schematic of this, I'll often include them, but before I finish the schematic, I'll delete 3 of the specters before they are built. That way only one is built. One specter by itself is really powerful. If you put 4, it can take too long to finish the schematic, and you won't get the guns and the ammo feed placed. So if we look at this applied with the mirrored approach, you now have 8 of these specters. You get your cryofluid or water going from both sides. In this case, I have also a force projector in the middle where I can feed some phase fabric up the middle, and that will enhance the mend projector and the overdrive projector while maintaining all of the full ammo to the other feeds. This is a very nice late game, high powered defensive line. Now again, this might take a little bit while to place down, so I'd start with a couple specters and then add the rest later on, but this gives you a lot of power. Now I mentioned that if we add cryofluid, we can speed up our specters. Well, by also adding cryofluid, we can swap out some specters for some foreshadows and add a little bit of the surge alloy, and now we have really powerful guns. We have long range foreshadows, we've got specters, and we can reuse the same design, just feed in a little bit of power. We have a shield. We've got, this is we're cooking with gas, so to speak. So we have all 3 different types of material, and we have lots of firepower ready to go. Now I know that was a lot of information really quickly. Hopefully these schematics will be useful for you. Let me go ahead and show you a quick application. You can just place it like that. I'll start off with one half, place the other half. Now, granted, I am playing on creative mode, so you get all the materials and it builds almost instantly. But you just feed in your material. Let's just say this is coming from down here. I'll grab a little bit of water, feed that in to one side of this. Now they all have water, and feed in some power. Place some walls, just like that. And you've got a defensive line that is ready to go. Just needs a little bit more ammo in there, and you're ready for your defense. That's all I have for this video. Hopefully this was helpful. And if you want to find these schematics, you go look for them in the video description. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.